With the release of Update 5, id Software has finally added bots to multiplayer. To play against them, you need to make a private match and set the game mode to either Deathmatch or Team Deathmatch. You can play with up to 11 bots in total and can be set to 1 or 4 difficulty levels. Creating AI for a game as chaotic as Doom can't be easy, so I must congratulate them for being able to pull it off. So, the bots are in, but are they any good? In my opinion, yes. Just like any player, the AI can move around the map and engage in combat when required, and for the most part, their behaviour is believable. Since this is the first iteration of bots, there's bound to be a few issues, so let's go into them. Bots never pick up power-ups. The most glaring issue is that the bots never seek out power-ups or weapons that appear on the map. On a rare occasion, you may see one running around with a quad damage or something, but that's only if the power-up just happens to be in their path. They should be actively seeking anything that's going to give them the advantage in the round, just as players should. Bots have a short attention span. If you happen to fight a bot and they lose sight of you, instead of trying to flank around like any other player would, they'll forget about you straight away and go somewhere else. The bots need to favour killing enemies that they know have taken damage, rather than starting a fight with someone completely new that could have full health. Bots are too accurate with some weapons. This could be just from personal experience, but I found that the AI is way too accurate with some weapons, particularly the burst rifle. They never miss a single bullet, regardless of how close or far away you are. So every time I ran into one using the burst rifle, I just turned my ass around and ran away because I knew I had no chance of winning. Bot accuracy needs to be addressed, or either controlled by the player, but I'll go into that later. Bots don't taunt at the end of a round. This is a minor one, but if you just got absolutely destroyed by the enemy and not a single one of them taunts at the end of a round, something's definitely wrong. I think that giving the bots some attitude, at least at the end of a round, would put a smile on a lot of faces. That's pretty much all the issues I noticed with the AI, but now let's go into some features that I'd like to see put into multiplayer, related to the bots at least, that I think could make them more enjoyable to play against. Add bots to more game modes. This one's a no-brainer. If the devs could make bots play a game like Freeze Tag with at least some sort of competency, then that's great. Because I don't know about you guys, but there's some game modes that I've never played because no one was joining it. Allow us to customize the bots. What I mean by this is being able to choose settings for the bots individually. For example, one bot could be aggressive, always pushing towards the enemy and getting it into close quarters to deal the most damage, while another could be hanging back, waiting to snipe anyone that dares to walk down the hallway. This could further be enhanced by being able to limit what weapons the bots are allowed to use. Allow bots to be used as placeholders for online modes. So if you're trying to join an online match and there's no one playing, why not have the bots fill up the server so you at least have someone to play against while you wait? Then, if more people do join, the bots can leave to free up space, similar to CS. An even better alternative would be to have dedicated servers and a server browser, but since they opted to use matchmaking, that's probably not going to happen. Add an option to disable melee attacks. Being able to bash your enemies over the head with your weapon can be useful in other shooters, but I find it strange that Doom, an arena shooter that's supposed to rely on reflex and precision, would have this feature. Pressing the melee button near anyone that's flashing yellow locks you both into an animation where you automatically get the kill. In the campaign, watching the player rip someone apart is the reward, but in multiplayer it just feels cheap. Having the option to disable melee in private matches will be a welcome addition for those of us who prefer to be killed by well-placed shots, rather than last-second quick-time events. Allow us to disable loadouts completely. I think a lot of players from the days of Quake and Unreal Tournament, myself included, are anxiously waiting for a classic game mode, or at least a setting for bots in private matches. The premise is that every player spawns with a pistol and new and stronger weapons are acquired by finding them on the map. I do understand that loadouts let the player use the weapon they want straight away, but I think people will find that having to fight and claw your way to the weapon you want only makes it more satisfying to use. A good example of multiplayer bots done right is Perfect Dark's Combat Simulator mode, which features all sorts of settings like bot personalities, weapons, handicaps, and more. Now, I'm not trying to put anyone down here, but getting these features done right the first time does make a big difference in the long run. The fact that I'm referencing a game from 16 years ago is a good example of that. So that's my opinion on Doom's multiplayer bots in their current state. I do hope to see more updates on them in the future, and I'll be sure to cover them right here on this channel. Thank you for watching.